Hello, and thank you for joining Expert Corner, where we sit down with Salesforce experts like product managers to learn more about products they're working on and what it means for you, our Salesforce admins. Today, we're sitting down with Antoine Cabot to learn more about Orchestrator and how you can automate multiple processes in one place in Salesforce. As with all of our product content, please make decisions based on currently available technologies and not on any future-looking statements. Let's go take a look. Hi, Antoine. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Leanne.
Well, we're super excited to have you here. As you know, our admin community just loves automation. They're always doing great things with Flow, great things with automation. And I know you've got some exciting information to share with us today about kind of the future of automation, things that are coming for admins and what it means for them. But before we jump into all of the amazing product information, we want to learn a little more about you. And I want our admin audience, our admin community to, know you and know a little bit more about our product team. So do you mind sharing a little bit about yourself, maybe how long you've been at Salesforce, a little bit about your background?
Sure. So my name is Antoine. I'm obviously French, as you can hear from my accent. I joined Salesforce only 6 months ago. So almost very new to Salesforce, and I'm very lucky to be working on this exciting project called Flow Orchestrator. Before Salesforce, I was working for a startup in the process automation space as well. So that was a good experience. Then, at some point, I wanted to rejoin a larger company to have a larger impact on a much larger number of customers. And what triggered the fact that Salesforce was the Slack acquisition back in December. I really thought through this a lot and thought that, with business process automation plus Slack, you get like a great combination of, automating your processes, providing the right interface for them to do the work. So that's when I applied to Salesforce and I joined the team in February this year.
Awesome. Well, welcome to Salesforce. We're super excited to have you here. And I know in your short time at Salesforce, you have already gotten very involved with one of our favorite areas of the platform, which is automation. So you mentioned Orchestrator. Do you want to give a little bit of kind of an intro to the product that you're working on and kind of where it sits on the Salesforce platform?
Yeah, absolutely. So Flow Orchestrator is basically the future of flow and automation on the Salesforce platform. That's the way we call this internally. It's basically, if you have been using flows for years now, you know that flow are very record centric, meaning that you attach a flow to a specific record, you make sure that you run some automation on this record, et cetera, et cetera. This is very powerful. This is a great product. Flow is really a great product. Now we realize that there are some processes that are more user-centric than record-centric, meaning that we want to make sure that we provide the right information at the right time, but to the right user. So if you have a process, think about an HR process that I can potentially demo. You have someone joining the team and you want to make sure that it's reviewed by the manager. And then when the manager has reviewed the equipment and everything, it's reviewed by the IT department and potentially the HR. So all of this communication that needs to happen between this different part of your organization, everything can be streamlined within one orchestration. Think about Orchestrator as a flow of flows. So if you think about your flows that you have today, you basically combine them all together into a larger orchestration. And that will give you a lot of power on automating your most sophisticated business processes.
Right. So it's sort of, you mentioned the flow of flows. It's sort of the kind of primary or main flow in which you could handle every single thing that had to happen, like for an onboarding process would come under this main orchestration. And that might be a number of flows.
Yes, exactly. So you will be able to reuse all your existing flows. So assume that you have, 10 different flows that you're already using for different part of the different automated part of your Salesforce experience. You can now reuse these 10 flows and combine them together and assign them to individual users. So everything you have done in the past is still very valuable when you start building orchestrations. So it's not a replacement, definitely not. And think that we have built Flow Orchestrator on top of Flow. So every capabilities that you have in Flow, like, sending a message to Slack, locking a record, sending an email. All these capabilities are already available in Orchestrator because every step in an orchestration is actually a flow.
That's so powerful. I think, one thing we see with our admins that are doing a lot of automation is they often have many different types of automation running for a business process or for an object. So, I'm really excited to see what our community builds with this. I know you've been talking to the community a lot and looking at what are those big use cases and what are those problems that it's solving. What are some of the things you've seen from our customers and some, problems or issues you've seen with our customers that this is solving for?
Yeah, so that's a very good question. So we're just running a pilot right now on the pilot version of Orchestrator that was released in the summer 21 release. And we have a huge pilot with more than 100 customers involved. So we are speaking with them a lot, getting feedback, getting their use case, et cetera, et cetera. The main use case for using Orchestrator is around multi-department project collaboration. You need to do something that involves multiple teams. It's very efficient to use Orchestrator in that scenario because you will be able to assign the work again to individuals and groups and make sure that the work is done. And then when the work is done, something else is triggered into another team. So that really solves a lot of complex when you are working with different teams internally or even externally, like when you are working with partners, for example. You want to make sure the work is assigned on time. So let me give you a very simple example about content management system. When you are dealing with a content management system, you have someone that is creating some content, another one that is providing translation, another one that is reviewing the content, another one that is publishing the content. All of these folks needs to be involved into this overall process. And that's where Orchestrator can really shine because you can assign, the first step to the author, and then the second step to the reviewer, the third step to the translation agency. That's really the key kind of scenario that our pilot customers are envisioning for using Flow Orchestrator.
Well, this is really exciting. I love, learning more about what the pilot customers are doing. I know that our admins in the audience love hearing about products. They love seeing products. And I believe you have a demo to share with us today and some more kind of slide information as well, right?
Yes, absolutely. Let me start with a quick presentation. Orchestrator is all about keeping people in sync, like making sure that teams works well together. We also want to increase the employee productivity by providing the right information at the right time with the right context. And if you start building your orchestration, it means that you have a very good visibility across the entire process within Salesforce. So you can start building reports, identify bottlenecks and opportunities to improve your process. That's kind of the key idea here. An orchestration is made of two major elements, stages and steps. And I will show you more in the demo. But basically what you have to understand here is that a step is a flow. So this stage here called create content is a combination of three flows that might run simultaneously or sequentially, you decide. And these flows are assigned to an individual user. Here, this person in green is assigned to the create content flow, create content step. So, and then the stages will then run sequentially. So create content will happen first, then translation will happen second, and then ready to publish will happen third. So you can see here that every step is one dedicated flow assigned to one dedicated individual running on a specific record page. This is what the end user will actually see. It's directly embedded into the record page. That's what we call the Orchestrator work guide. And that's where the header part of this work guide is the orchestration, where you are in the orchestration, what is the current step, the current stage. And the bottom part is the flow. So everything you see here is customizable. You can create your own screen flow, add the components that you need. You know the power of flow. And finally, as all the objects that you are creating, stages, steps within Salesforce are all available for your own consumption, you can start creating amazing reports and dashboards to identify how much time it takes to do this step, how much time it takes to go from this stage to this other stage. So you can maintain high productivity. You can make sure that your process are running well, and use resources to their full potential. That's kind of a quick intro of Orchestrator. And now let's move on to a demo. So this is a quick demo of Orchestrator. It's a demo that is based on our beta version of Orchestrator that you would be able to access on Sandbox previews by the end of August, and then available in other sandboxes in September. This example here is an orchestration that I can start when a contract object is created. And I will check the condition that it's in draft, just to make it easier. The record is created. And then what we will do first is we want to have a manager review. We want someone to review the contract. So you can see here that you have two types of steps available. Interactive steps are screen flows, and background steps are auto launch flows. Every step is a flow again. So here, when I click on that step, I can very quickly configure it. I can set an entry condition. When does it start? I can select the flow. So from the list of flow available, I choose the one I need. I will specify where this flow will be displayed on the record page. And then I will specify the user that is assigned to this step. So only cat@orch.com will actually see this flow. And then I can also set an exit condition if I need to. One thing that is very, very cool when you go into decision elements here is that you can access statuses of previous steps. So you can potentially look at the steps that was done before, like for example, the manager reviewing the contract, and you can look at output variables available from that flow, or you can look at the status. In that case, I want to use the status. I want to use the output variable actually. So I'm going to go into steps. I shall review the contract, output, and then I want the decision. And based on the decision, I will go this route or that route. The demo that I will show you here is that we go first by a rejection. So what happens when we reject is that we ask the account manager to review the feedback and then rewrite the contract. What is really nice here in Orchestrator is that you can also link a specific path to a previous element. So here, I'm going to delete this connector just to show you. I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to connect to an element, and then I can select another element, which is the manager review. And then automatically, this will loop through the manager review again. So when the contract is rejected, the AM review the contract again, and then resend for the manager review. And then when it's approved, we go into that route here where we share the contract via email with the customer. And you can note that this is a background step. So this will all happen in the background. There is no interaction in there. And then we create a follow-up task for the account manager, and we provide a quick summary in a screen flow to mention that everything has been created. You will also notice that you can control when the step is started. So in that case, I don't want to create a follow-up task until the contract has been shared via email. That's what I can do here by selecting when another step is not complete, the step starts, and then I choose share contract via email as a previous step. So only when this step will be completed, then the follow-up task will be created. All right, let's run this orchestration quickly. So I'm going to create a new contract here. So you can see all of this in action. I'm going to use the Acme account, and contract start date. You can set that to 2 weeks and a 12 months contract, and I save this. So if you remember our orchestration, the very first step is a manager review. So as the account manager here, I see the work guide on the contract object, but there is no active work for me. There is nothing I can do. I just created the contract. I'm ready to go, but it needs to go through a manager review. So now let's see what we see. So now I'm logged in as Cat Lawrence here, and I'm going to refresh. I'm going to load the page here. So the exact same record page. And you would notice that I see a different view here we are. So we are on the same contract page, as you can see, as I was before. But now I have this flow that has been assigned only to my user, Cat Lawrence. So now I can see that the contract term is 12 months. I should have provided a description and special terms. So I'm going to reject and say, please provide a description for this contract because I need to know more. Note that everything is provided in the context of the contract, right? So I can always go into the details page and see all the contract here. Note that I can also open this link here that will redirect me to the instance page. And that's where I can see what's going on in this orchestration. So you can see the steps that are in progress, the stages that are in progress, and you can also see all the history. So that's where you can track all the information about timing on when this step and stages are completed. Going back here, I'm going to reject this. And if you remember, what happened when we reject is that we go directly back to the account manager that will be notified by email. But if I refresh this page here, all right, so the AM review the feedback and rewrite the contract is now in progress. So I'm going to refresh now this page and I should be able to see the flow now. Yeah, here we go. So the contract has been rejected by Cat, and you can see that I'm passing some variables here. I know that my manager is Cat, so stated here, and she mentioned that I need to provide the description. So I need to provide the description. Let me go through that description field and let's do quick descriptions here as an example. And then now I'm going to send this for review. And if I go back to my orchestrator, when I finish that screen flow, then we go back to the manager review as stated before. So now I'm going back to this object here, the contract page for my manager. And so you can see there could be a lot of back and forth between different individuals in this process. So that's everything is managed automatically. So now I'm going to approve this. Done. And now we go the approved field, the approved pass. So we go this way, and then we'll be doing sharing the contract via email, create a follow-up task, and then providing an AM summary. So if I refresh that page, you can see that I've received the AM summary, the contract has been sent to the customer, and a follow-up task has been created. And if I go into my notification, I can see that I have a task to reach out to the customer to review the contract within 2 weeks. So that's kind of the demo I wanted to show you. It's a great example of a process that needs to go through different individuals, and that's where Orchestrator is really powerful.
Well, thank you so much for that demo. I think that really did illustrate, how you can manage a multi-step or multi-person process, not back and forth. So for our admins that are in the audience that are interested now in Orchestrator and they're ready to get hands-on, what are the next steps for them if they're interested in learning more about Orchestrator, or how do they get it in their environments to get hands-on with, or do they do a trailhead? What's next?
Yeah, so great question. What's next is the beta version of Orchestrator that will be available to all our customers. It will be available in Sandbox preview by the end of August. And then in your Sandbox running our 2.34 version in September.
Awesome. So this is something that everyone can get hands-on with for whatever org they have that's on Winter 22. Yes. So if that's their pre-release demo environment or pre-release dev environment or a Sandbox preview, it sounds like?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us here. Thank you for the thoughtful demo. And also we'll be making sure to link any relevant resources in the show notes. Again, thank you so much for joining us with our admin audience, Antoine.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for joining us today. That was a great overview of Orchestrator and some information about how you, our Salesforce admins, can get hands-on with this latest update to our automation tools. Make sure to check out the show notes for any resources and additional links that were mentioned in the show. And of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss any other videos like this. You can always visit admin.salesforce.com for more Salesforce content like videos, blogs, and podcasts that we make especially for you, our Salesforce admins. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.